Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first Campfire Chat. We have the usual suspects in the building. We're all casual tonight, and this is kind of, imagine this. All your scouts have gone off to bed, and they're in their tents and getting ready to go to bed, and it's just before taps, and all the scout leaders are around the fire having fun, talking about leadership, talking about questions that they might have or things that they've experienced, different stories, fun things, sad things, everything we talk about here on the channel. And I think that's really where this is. And I am so blessed with champions of the scouting realm. Let's put it that way. I have wonderful Mike. He's our moderator in the chat room. So shoot some good questions to him and he'll get them to us. And on my team tonight, I've got, of course, Matthew up there. He's the roving scouter. And he's awesome. His videos are great. You should be a subscriber. And of course, we have wonderful Scoutmaster Bucky. To this day, he's not been to a Bucky's. I can't believe it.
Wow, wonderful isn't usually a word I hear, but thank you for that, Stan.
So that's our team tonight. So definitely send in the questions, and we actually are we've already started. I believe there was some interaction going on in the chat on the side. So as we got those questions, Mike, let's throw in those questions, and then we'll get into some categories we've been thinking about and some of the format here. So,
all right, our first question comes from Fakey Fakerstein.
Great name.
Not sure if that's
we were laughing about
totally a fake name. Okay,
it's
real to me.
Question. Okay, so Fakey asks, if the parents in my pack are not volunteering for committee or leadership positions, pack of 60 scouts, congratulations, large pack. Yeah. How can we get more volunteers? I think this is a perpetual question.
It is.
What do we have to say about this?
Well, personally, when I was a Cub Master, we expected all parents to, at least one parent, to be involved something, whether it be a den leader or committee or what have you. So there had to be some buy-in from the families, and you expect it. And you tell them at the beginning when you recruit your Cub Scouts, you tell them at the beginning that they need to be involved. And it's important to have that adult leadership there, because without it, I know it's hard. I mean, yes, in today's times, we have these uber parents that want to schedule every quarter second of every moment so that they can maximize every. Take a breath, It's just it's scouting. Okay, we need help. It's all volunteer. The whole thing is volunteer, and that's what you have to tell them right at the beginning. That's so critical. Now, I know that Matt probably might have some additionals on that. You can make it policy for the pack to say, if you're not going to participate either as a leader or something in the pack, you have to. There's all kinds of behind the scene things, whether it's organizing the popcorn thing or the whatever fundraiser the pack's doing, arranging for a camp out. There's tons and tons of stuff that needs to be done, and scout leaders can't do it all. They have to delegate it out, and it goes to the parents. And you will not be able to find anything in scouting or anything out there for kids that doesn't have some kind of buy-in from the parents. So to say they don't have time is sort of a cop-out. That I don't think that I would believe that. It's hard to believe that. I'll tell you a story if you want to hear it.
Yes, tell us a story, Uncle Stan.
Story time.
I was training a new recruiter, and we were talking about parents' involvement. And he said, raise your hand if you love your kids You raise your hands if you want the best for them. Now raise your hand if you're going to be involved in the troop. So everyone like this. He says, "You don't like your kids?" I was like, I was laughing. Okay, I was over the side laughing, and he was serious. He says, "You have to be involved. you think that your time is more valuable than mine?" He got serious.
Yeah. Stan, with regards to that question of how do you get volunteers, I think you touched on something that's really important is the culture of a unit is hard to change. And if you've dropped the involvement of the parents, it's hard to get them back. And because they get used to it being a babysitting service or a drop off. And so if you don't already have that culture of engaging the families, it's a hard one to bring in, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Even the pain of reinstilling that as the culture of your unit.
And you got to do it at the beginning. Got to do it right at the start.
Right.
Get first involved.
But it isn't impossible to reinvent your unit to that level. You'll actually weed out some of the lesser families that are simply using it as a time filler. I joke because I'm currently a Cub Master as well. My Christmas or December events, I always anticipate the parents are gone, and I encourage them to go, keeping proper YPT coverage though, so they can go do Christmas shopping for their kids.
Right.
But
that makes sense.
Outside of that, it's like I want them involved. So when it comes to Pinewood Derby, Blue and Gold, whatever we do, I know I've got the families there. And a lot of units, I think, make the mistake of after Lion and Tiger Year, where parents are mandatory,
right,
that they let them know that, oh, well, you don't have to come. You just, I just keep it going like, well, we'll see you next week. And never really discuss that. I don't know if that's strong integrity or not, but
no, you've assumed that sale. They've got that buy-in to the unit. It's their unit. And without that, we had a parent that was too busy at a troop, and every single meeting they would go on about. They would make notes of what they didn't do, what they should do, just endless thing. And they kept going to the advancement people, and it was driving them crazy. So they eventually said, "Stan, come over here. Talk to this lady." And I says, "Hand me that form over there." I grabbed that form. It says, "Miss Smith, I hear you have complaints. We have a complaint form. This is a complaint form. It's called the application."
Yes, we have the same one.
What?
We have the same one.
You get that application, you fill that out and become a leader, because there's no problems if you're there to actually do something about it.
See, as a Minnesotan, passive aggressive approach sometimes works for us.
Exactly.
Kind of one of our things.
Paperwork.
Yeah.
That's key. It is one of those things. So but
all right. So we have a couple questions here, great questions on how to become a commissioner. I think I'll come back to those later because we have a whole bunch of.
Well, I got a one-liner on that.
Oh,
to become a commissioner, to become a commissioner, talk to your district commissioner.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a fast way to do it.
All right. Okay. So we could spend a lot of time on that, but there's some comments that have been here for a while, so I want to make sure we're. Remy says, "Greeting fellow Scouters." Okay.
Hey. Having fun around the campfire.
Relantel.
It's warm here.
Yeah.
Relantel is one of our longtime listeners, and I guess member for 19 months. Freshly home from staffing NYLT. So proud of our youth. Thank you for your service to scouting, Relantel.
NYLT, that's the National Youth Leadership Training. So if you're into troops, the girl troop or a boy troop, this is the wood badge for youth. So that's NYLT. And being on staff of that takes as much as it does for Woodbedge. So it's a year-long commitment.
I love the fact that when people participate in those things, they come back to the roots of what we are. And we kind of ended our last monthly meeting on this is we're an organization that serves youth.
Right.
And when people come back from serving on NYLT or a good camping week at over the summer or even a weekend camping, when you get back to the reason why we do scouting, I love hearing that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And I can tell you a lot of neat memories of what of being on the NYLT staff. That was a lot of fun. We had bears in the cabins and you name it. So it was a lot of fun.
I have to. Yeah. So Aaron's got a later comment here, and he saw that we're drinking pop, Matt, and he's shaming us for not drinking water. Yeah.
I got a glass of water myself.
Oh man, it just tastes so good.
Yeah. It does.
As you get ready to go to like some of these high adventure, they tell you that not to just kind of wean yourself off of any carbonated beverage.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, I went from Massachusetts. I was living in north of Boston, and we got on a bus for 2 days. We drove to Philmont. And on that bus, everybody was off gassing. So the back of the bus had the windows open the whole way. So it was pretty bad.
Wait.
We get up at altitude there.
What is off gassing?
I'm unfamiliar with this term.
A lot of burping at other ends.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, just
that's off gassing.
We call that flatulation.
We get out and we have to, for 10 days we're on the trail. So
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The second day, one of the kids kind of started hallucinating about Coca-Cola. So
I can relate.
Yes.
All right.
He had found a big rock to beat up with a stick. So because it took his money. He thought it was a Coke machine. So it wouldn't give him a Coke. So he was delusional. So
yeah.
We had to bring him back to camp and kind of calm him down. So,
all right. Well, Aaron is joining us from Fort Scott, Kansas.
Yes.
Nice.
And Relantel said he's glad to be on this live show. He missed the last two.
Awesome.
We certainly
I'm glad he's here.
On. Yep.
We keep a nice space next to the fire for him. Yeah.
John is joining us from the Buckeye Council in Ohio.
Awesome. There's a happy Buckeye fan who takes a seat 8 and wins the national championship, right?
Yeah. I think so.
John asks, just got my eagle last Sunday. Congratulations, John.
Fantastic.
Have you guys heard of Pipestone from Ohio?
Pipestone?
Is that a city? I know we have a city called Pipestone in western Minnesota, but I'm not sure. Not aware if that was a city in Ohio.
See, my father was involved in Galion, Ohio. That's where we lived, and he was in Mansfield, Ohio, at one point. And he was a professional scouter. So I've heard that before. Something like Pipestone or Chimney or something like that. I vaguely have some memories of it, but I was very young.
Okay, so John says Pipestone is an award of the Buckeye Council has. It's very unique.
Oh,
I mean, it's also a kind of stone that you can cut with a knife until it dries out. Then it's more like stone. So,
wow, yeah, that'd be an interesting topic. Stan is
like
different council awards.
Yeah. Yeah. There's different ones. I remember in Boston, there was bones. They had these, you earned your bones by going to camp and being a CIT.
Yeah.
And,
well, Philadelphia had that 1976 merit badge for colonial Philadelphia. I think the Los Angeles Area Council had like a copyright it was something in conjunction with the film industry. It wasn't movie making. It was something like copyright or something
Oh,
like that.
for like print,
Yeah.
newspapers and magazines.
Yeah, I'd have to look back. It was over a decade ago, but I know that different councils have different awards. That'd be an interesting thing to hear about.
Yeah.
We talked
Well,
about Mikase versus Order of the
Right.
Arrow last
Right.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that'd be an
There's
interesting
Mikose and well, the Order of the Arrow, which is just about everywhere in the United
Yep.
States. And Mikose is it's a slim, it's like 4 or 5 councils right in
Yeah.
the middle.
Yep.
That do that. So,
all
and
right.
a lot of them, they do both.
Yeah.
A lot of them do both.
Yep.
So there's actually a website about it. It says created in the McKinley Area Council in 1920s. It's still in existence here today in the current Buckeye Council. It's a 5-year honor program at their camp.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So if you go to that camp for 5 years, that's the award.
Hmm.
That's
It
cool.
yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really clarify, but yeah, that's what it says here on this website, and it talks about Native American history and different things like that. So
Nice.
Yeah. That's neat. There's some camps that have different first year emphasis, and I think it's Firestarter is one that's up in like the Carolinas. South and North Carolina has Firestarter, and that is like it goes on 5-6 years of going to their camps. So it's an involved program all to itself. It's not OA, it's not Mikusei, it's actually its own little thing for their camps. So but it really starts at the first year emphasis. Like if you go to what is it, Woodruff, I believe. My son went there, and I can't remember where that was. It's north of Georgia. I know that, but it's what is it? The program they have is Mountain Man. So there's different programs at different camps.
Yeah.
So that's the neat thing about them. So.
yeah, at least in California, there's a camp called Emerald Bay, and it's on Catalina Island, the same one from Step Brothers. I got to go there when I was a scout back in the day, and they have rockers around their camp patch, and you can't do everything, in one summer. So you have to come back multiple years to get like War Canoe and a couple of the other different ones that were there. So yeah, I think that's definitely something around scouts that is fairly prevalent. So keep kids coming back multiple years to the same camp. So
yeah, I think that's a great way to get that going.
Should we get another question here?
Yeah, let's shoot another one in.
Just want to make sure we're gained everyone. Timothy says, good evening, everyone from the Mimsy Trails Council.
Hey, Timothy. He does a lot of comments. I've been replying. I recognize that logo.
All right. Remy is joining us from the Central Florida Council from Sea Scout Ship 412.
Awesome. Awesome. Central Florida. I know those guys.
I bet you do. Brian is a district commissioner joining from the Tidewater Council in northeastern North Carolina. Okay. Welcome.
Awesome. This forum is open to just about everybody. So we have young people here, we have professionals, we have all different kinds. And so this is a great forum for those questions to be answered, just like the campfire. I want to go back to the theme. That's why we're casual, because it's we're wrapping the days of camp, and we just want to sit around and get to know people and talk about things we've experienced and had fun with. And we have a lot of different things that we do. And I know Bucky, he's got some specialty announcements going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
I'm thinking it's something to do with the merit badge counselors or merit badges.
Well, yeah. But let's Mike's got something.
Can we get through a few more of the?
Oh, he's got more questions. Yeah. Oh, well, you got to stay, guys.
Okay. And incidentally, we have. If you're listening, please give the thumbs up. Okay, I just want to. Doug says hello from Troop 25.
Hello, Doug.
in
Again,
Duluth, Minnesota. Okay.
yeah,
so we need
Doug's the
number
one
eight.
that I met with yesterday as I was sharing with you that I traveled to Duluth. So I told him about the show. So I'm thankful that he showed up and such.
Yeah.
Boy, he could tell you stories too. So we sat in Perkins for I don't know how many hours and such. Yeah.
All right. Ken, another longtime listener. Bonjour from Lafayette, Louisiana. Okay.
Excellent.
Ah, bonjour, monsieur.
Yeah, Ken is a longtime member. He's been a
Yep.
member of the channel for a very long time.
Yeah, I see him. He's very often on the live program.
Yes.
Nice.
Dean says, howdy.
Yeah. Hey there.
How do you make one disappear?
He's my go-to guy for dad jokes.
So how do you make one disappear? Put G in front of it and it's gone.
It's gone. Ah.
Okay.
We need it like a rim shot sort of sound or something. Yeah.
All we got is the fire.
Well,
Yeah.
if we had sound effects, I need additional hands.
We'll have to work on that. I can work on that.
Matt, are you subliminally saying that's an okay joke or you're just holding your can funny?
I'm pulling up my soundboard to see if rim shot would go through.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing it didn't. So
Aw.
Okay, I'll just do a couple more. Remy says, how do you recommend recruiting older youth programs like, how do you recommend recruiting for older youth programs like Sea Scouts when the troop is not friendly to us? And basically the troop, I suppose, wants to keep the youth in their troop and not moving on to Sea Scouts. So what do we have to say on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I have one unit that has, and we're landlocked. We got a lot of lakes, but we have a Sea Scout unit within a charter that has Cub Scouts, a girl troop, and a boy troop, and now it has Sea Scouts. So they've got the full thing, and they even have a venture crew that does overseas stuff. So that's something that they're doing. One thing that the troop needs to understand is that they can be listed with the troop and do Sea Scout. They can do both. It is possible. It's nice when you get somebody that's focused with just one unit, but they can do both. So they don't feel like they're stealing your scouts. To become Sea Scouts.
Stan, that's a hard feeling as a scoutmaster when a venturing crew or a Sea Scout unit wants to come in and how do I say this? I've been approached for years with that same scenario, and it's really, really tough because you want to be supporting of the entire program. But the reality is that when kids join the venturing or the Sea Scouts, oftentimes the newness of the new program takes over and they forget. And a lot of factors can come in. If they're a 16-year-old youth and the troop is mostly 11, 12, 13-year-olds, it's a challenge keeping them engaged and coming to the troop meetings. And so I understand where the concern and question comes. My advice to the unit, the scout troop, would be don't say no, but make sure that they bring something. Those Sea Scouts and those venturing scouts need to do training, need to do public speaking, and they can relate to the younger scouts. And if they're wanting to come in and recruit, they should be coming in to recruit long-term, not short-term. But I also think it's on the Sea Scout group or the venturing group that's coming in with the way they approach things. If they're just looking for a quick and easy way to gather scouts, when you as a troop leader have spent money and resources to get some of these kids, I get why you feel protective of it. So get the unit to come in and teach them knots. Get the unit to come in and give you something to your unit in return to access for your scouts and families information.
What's nice about the unit that has a Sea Scout plus the troops, they try to meet all at the same time. Different areas, but they can use their resources. It's a lot of combined stuff that goes on.
Right.
And what's interesting there is having them come in and teach knots is awesome. but one of the big caveats between Sea Scouts and a crew or venturing crew, your actual rank advancement needs to be handled with the troop. Now, up to first class, you can do that completely with the troop. After first class, Star, Life, and Eagle can be done with a venture crew or a ship. So as far as advancement is concerned, that can be done. So you don't want to mess that up. So you might make it as a rule for the troop, saying that it's either 14 or 14 or first class or both.
Yeah.
So you can have requirements for them to consider being moved into that, and they can be in both. They can be still registered with the troop and the Sea Scouts and the venture. So they can do both, and a lot of them do, and it seems to work out, especially as they get older. With Sea Scouts and venturing, they don't really become adult leaders until they're 21, whereas in scouting with troops, you're dealing with only the
under 18.
So after 18, they're considered adults because of the leadership requirement. So that's the stickler there. There's that 3-year period where a lot of them kind of fade away. The thing that they can do, though, they can be in the OA, they can be in a venture crew, and they can be on a ship. So they can do all those other things.
Truth be told, when they go on to Sea Scouts or venturing or OA, they've kind of run the course with the troop, but having a conversation with the kid saying, look, this is kind of your family. They're extended family. Think of them as second cousins. Now, if they become first family and we're marrying you off for a analogy sort of play, we hope you'll still associate with it, with our unit and such. Getting them to come to summer camp can be a huge benefit for the unit.
Yes.
And such. So they may not come to the regular meetings as they get involved with the other stuff. And as much as we'd like to say, no, we should put rules in place that don't allow them to do that, it's another one of those conundrum questions that there is no great answer that everybody wins.
Yeah.
Truth of the matter is the kid's going to choose what interests them most.
And they're the one that should win. That's what we always have to keep in mind. We do have that investment of time and effort towards the troop and stuff, but if they want to move on to that, that's fine. Always be always be willing, if it doesn't work out with them, that they can come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key.
Yes.
So I'll always have a place.
Yes.
We always say scouting is a safe place to fail, and sometimes that is it.
I do it every week.
Okay. So could I just get through acknowledge a few more comments, and then maybe Bucky, you can get your thing. Pin King 554, a longtime listener, is having a crossover this upcoming Saturday. In fact, our unit just had Weebles 2 cross into our troop today, so that was great.
Nice.
And Pin King 554 said their troop is preparing scouting for food, and they're trying to exceed 16,000 pounds of food collected.
That's awesome. That actually, our unit always does scouting for food in April, which was kind of national scouting for food, which is great because it's an odd time of year. But I know there's a lot of units around me that do food drives at Thanksgiving and such. But even right
down
now,
in the South, we do it in November.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Yeah, so we traditionally did it up here in April, which was a great thing to get people outside, spring fever and such. But, we forget about times like right now, January, February timeframe. We're coming out of the holidays, but there's still people that are in need of those food shelves that we help build. So that's an awesome job. At 16,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Makes me think of that Harry Chapin song. 30,000 pounds of bananas. Look it up.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah. That's a toughie.
Hey, so do you want the monthly song list?
Yeah.
Go for it. I think you can top
For
it out.
merit badges.
Yeah. So me start my slideshow here and we'll go through. So what this is our monthly merit badge that we pick the top 10 songs for. And here we go right here.
Do I click anything on my end?
Nope. It should be coming up.
I think I just clicked. Oh, okay. Okay, here we go.
There you are.
All right.
I had to click something, Stan.
Look at that.
Since we picked Campfire as our new theme for the monthly thing, I thought, well, let's do the camping merit badge. Oops, I don't have the right merit badge in there, but I got the right title. I'll have to get the American Business one out of there.
Camping merit badge.
So this is just a idea of top 10 songs for camping, not campfire songs, but the camping merit badge song. And love to have the comments in the feed here. And if you have others that we could add, that'd be great. But let's take a look. Number 10, the Campfire song by SpongeBob SquarePants. Number 9, There Ain't No Bugs
I don't
on
remember
Me
that
by Jerry Garcia. And again, while I'm pretty good musical wise, there's another person that sang it with him or helped compose it, but kind of a good camping song. Number 8, Fire and Rain. We've all experienced those weekends, right?
Yeah.
James Taylor. Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys. That was kind of a unanimous one by all of us. Actually, it was funny listening to Stan sing it in the production.
You're not going to get a repeat.
Let's see here. Blowing in the Wind. We've all seen our tents going down the path, right?
I got stories about that one.
That's a reason to camp in a cave. Absolutely no wind at all in a cave.
Hey, yeah, you're going to talk about that in just a minute, aren't you? Yeah. Let's see. We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. That's what I always get from the kids when I walk up and find them without the water bucket and rake at the campfire. Yeah. We didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mac the Knife, right? Because I always find the kids up there whittling. Old Bobby Darin song. Let's see. Number 3, Born to Be Wild. You know, I'm always
Steppenwolf.
We're around the campfire. Not wild time, right? Not about wild thing, but at any rate, let's see what number 2 is. All Summer Long by Kid Rock.
There you go.
You know, and finally the number 1 song, Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the top 10.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Thank you.
Love to see what other people can add.
Yeah, let's keep it Scout appropriate, though.
Yeah, right. Yes.
You have to think about the lyrics, you know.
I'm laughing at Ken's comments here. He's singing 30,000 pounds of bananas right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we put some, what do they call them? Song ticklers in your head with that list. And
earworms.
Yeah, earworms. There we go.
Psychological warfare, really.
Yeah, which one of those are you going to be singing all day tomorrow in your head that you're like, oh, Bucky, thanks a lot.
This girl's on fire.
Yeah, that's probably going to be that one. Let's be honest.
The ScouterStan mix.
The ScouterStan. The unplugged.
All right. Well, say I just want to take this time to give a shout out to a campground that our troop went to in January. Yeah. So Eagle Cave is a private campground with a cave in southwestern Wisconsin. And, you know, they really cater to Scout units. And our unit was able to spend the night in their cave, just set up tents and sleeping bags in the cave. And I must say, in northern climates like Minnesota or Wisconsin, sleeping in a cave is much more pleasant than sleeping outside when there's snow. It's a constant temperature all year round. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Eagle Cave. It was a great experience. I'm sure our unit will come back probably annually.
That sounds like a great thing to do with cubs. because you have a very local spot. Of course, when it's lights out in a cave, it's lights out.
It's lights out in a cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard great things about that. It's like 50 degrees year round in there. It's damp, but I haven't gone down there, but I've heard lots of units that have, and a great experience.
As a kid, I went to Mammoth Caves. I remember that. That was a very amazing thing. They have an organ in there.
An organ. Okay.
And I don't think they play it anymore, but back in when I visited, they had the organ. They did the unfugue thing. It was scary as a kid. So
yeah.
All right. So just going through comments. Randy is joining us from Blairsburg, Georgia.
Wow.
Oh,
Georgia.
Welcome.
We should get a state map that we mark off.
Yeah,
all
have
the
little
live
diamond-
viewers. Yeah,
little stars. Yeah, that'd be neat.
so we can fill the map.
And we have a question that I'm not going to put up because I'm not really clear what Aaron is asking. So if you can restate what you're asking, I'll be happy to put your question up, Aaron.
There you go.
Pablo, hello from PAC 2831 and Troop 2860, Chesterfield, Virginia. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, that's your area, right, Matt?
Yeah, I think that's somewhere around here. I think it's south. Yeah.
All right.
It's around there.
Light Guy 911, another longtime viewer. What merit badge does a scout get for telling a good joke? Well, in scouting, the jokes that aren't really funny are the best ones.
Well, what's the answer?
Dad jokes.
What's the answer to that one?
Oh, it said the laugh saving merit badge.
Like that saving merit badge.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, Matt's got to get his soundboard.
I'll figure it out. It's all new.
Yeah.
If you have to explain a joke, you've pulled all the funniness out of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's best to move on.
We need to make a list for Matt with his soundboard. So we need the wah 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 and the rim shot and
sad trombone, meow.
Yeah, there we go.
That would be good. All right, another one from Like Guy 911. A very good comment here that if a youth kind of fades off from a troop into Sea Scouts or venturing or becomes more active in Order of the Arrow, at least they're active in the scouting movement, which is a good point. Whereas if we don't have opportunities to challenge and engage older youth, they may leave the scouting movement. So that's a very good point. Thank you.
Very good point. One caveat I would like to put on there, the Sea Scouts and the Venture are their own group. OA requires you to be a member of a troop or a crew or something else. You have to have your membership where you can go back and use the skills that come from the OA, all that leadership. You need to go back to the units. So that's the caveat there. So that don't think of OA as its own option. You have to be a member of scouting somewhere. So
and the venturing and Sea Scouts, I think one thing that we didn't talk about is emphasize dual registration.
Yeah.
That way you don't lose them out of the troop. They're still registered with you.
If they're in the same district, there's no charge.
Right.
There's no additional.
Well, even same council.
Right. Same council.
If you go into a different council, it gets to be a different fee structure. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm finding no additional fees for multiple councils for my kids and myself.
Good.
You are or aren't?
I am in your council and my council, Bucky.
Yeah.
Now I do need to, speak very nicely to the registrar in each council because it's additional work for both of them. But
right.
Yeah.
So express appreciation. All right, Steve. Just attended a linked troop wood badge at Summit 2 weeks ago. Cannot recommend it strongly enough. Yes. Staff and scouters from across the country, including Chief Scout Executive Roger Crown. All right, sounds like a great experience.
Was attending that one and such. So
that's awesome.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, conjoined troops are such a unique thing, where you have the girls doing their leadership and you have the boys doing their leadership, but they can use the same troop canoes, the same tents, the same equipment. It is so much better. And believe me, I think that's the conjoined thing, using the same committee for both units. This committee, they have a pack, 2 troops, a crew, and a ship. So the charter they're with said, we'll take everything. That's what we wanted. We'll take all the scouting you can do. So, but that's
well, congratulations to our recent wood badge. Was that weekend 1 or 2?
Yeah, it was at I believe it's just the training. The tickets are done separate.
Oh,
they don't have to be there for the ticket.
Okay.
All right. Ken comments he's happy when he's hiking with a pack upon his back. All right.
Yeah, it's a Burl Ives, isn't it? Isn't that Burl Ives? I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm the resident gray hair. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about one more question, and then I think either Bucky or I will get into some new merit badge related things.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
So Max asked a question that Stan has previously answered. Max is asking, should I leave my troop? And I think Stan has had there's other troops in your area. If it's not a fit, don't leave, upgrade.
Yep. Yeah. Upgrade. That's fine. It's totally fine. You don't have to quit. You can just go, I think it's Be a Scout, and type in your zip code. And that way you'll find all the troops that are in your zip code. And
so
you can
Max,
just hop around.
Max clarifies that his troop is not active, but he's the SPL. He's looking at a different troop.
Oh. Well, see, the SPL is kind of the leader that runs the meeting.
Yeah. So,
there might be more to it.
Yeah, there seems to be, there probably is more to it. It's nuanced, but I think Stan's information still applies, because if you're dealing with a scenario where he's the only active person and membership is kind of waned, then yeah, go into another troop. Even though you are the SPL, is probably going to be the logical thing. But yeah,
I slightly disagree with that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Here's why. You were chosen by your peers to serve in that position, and if you just quit because of things you don't like, you're in a position. You are in the position to make change.
Yeah.
And so, to me,
Really
you've made that commitment to being the SPL. And again, we don't have enough information to understand the whole scenario. My first challenge would be, have you done everything you can to improve that situation, especially since you're in the SPL position? And I think walking away, while it's an option, I can use it in business. Anybody can fire somebody.
Right.
But it's really a true leader that can make change of those that they may want to get rid of into a productive member of the team. And so, to me, the SPL position, you've got an obligation that you took and a commitment that you've made that I would encourage you to, make the most of until it's an absolute no-win situation.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Good comment, Bucky.
Yeah.
But as a matter of clarification, I was saying that, like, if the rest of the rest of the scouts moved away and you're all sitting by yourself, you have 2 options: either start recruiting people or look for another troop. So I agree with you and fully in developing if there's still people who are kind of waning. Absolutely.
And you can't do it all on your own. Right. So I mean, you've got to have the adult support and help as well.
That's a big one. You got to make sure your scoutmaster is there helping you get your agenda going. That's the important bit.
I think Max's question may be fair, but there's just not enough information in that particular situation to address.
But as SPL, he has an obligation. You're absolutely right. He has an obligation to make changes, make it better, make it worth staying there. That's the and he's got to work with the Scoutmaster team, as I like to say, because there's one Scoutmaster and a whole bunch of assistants.
Right.
They work as a team, and if you can get them mentoring you, give you the abilities and the tools and things you need, you can turn what's not good in that unit, you can turn it around real quick. So definitely, don't just run. But if it comes down to it, it's time to move on. Don't quit. You can just move to another unit. So
all right. So Bucky, did you have some things to share about?
I did. So
why don't you share, and then
I was sharing.
I'm actually not sure which of the things you're going to share, but I'm excited to see it.
All right. Well,
I'm all for it. I think it's neat.
Yeah. So I was telling Stan and everybody about my weekend going up to Duluth. I had an Eagle Court of Honor from one of my scouts today. We had Scout Sunday, and tonight on Wednesday, our local Scout Museum asked me to do a presentation on merit badge pamphlets. I'm a collector of merit badge pamphlets. I've got about 10,000 in my collection.
Wow.
And I do all the different printings and such. And so I put on Tuesday night, I was working on putting together a PowerPoint presentation to take and do it for the museum. And I ran across something that I'm going to share with you here that caught me off guard. And if you go to Scout Stuff, the online scouting store, you will find that there's a new merit badge that's not even out on the internet that you can buy a pamphlet for. And so I bought it and had it second day aired to me just to make sure it was real, because there's absolutely nothing on the internet. Now, maybe in a couple weeks, I've added it to my site of merit badges. So it's on the scoutmasterbucky.com website. And Doug from Duluth saw this yesterday, but let me see if I can get this.
There you go. It's kind of focusing. There you go.
Multisport is a new merit badge. I've got the pamphlet here. And what's interesting about it is it's going back. It looks like it's going back to the old ways of merit badges. Where like 2005, when fly fishing came out, it was sponsored by the Fly Fishing Association.
Right.
And it used to be that a certain amount of money, high six digits, would get you a merit badge. And then they changed in the early 2000s or late 2000s to more surveying and such. So this one here on the front page, it states that it was, let me read exactly what it says. Scouting America is grateful to David Tri-Dave Alexander and the Tri-Dave Legacy Trust for making this merit badge and pamphlet possible. We also thank USA Triathlon for their assistance with information and photography. So it appears like there's a trust that was set up related to scouting and merit badges and such that might have brought about this new merit badge, multi-sport. It's not, I can't see that it's replacing anything. And
Does it have a green border?
It has a green border, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know why I'm asking.
Yes. Yeah. So are we adding another eagle required?
Exactly.
So we've got it on there. On the scoutmasterbucky.com website, if you want to look at the requirements. It's not going to be one that you just knock out. It does have one requirement that requires counselor interaction. It's not really approval, but interaction. And you can choose. I learned new words when reading this. You have 4 different options: triathlon, aqualathon, duathlon, and aqua bike. So and it's basically different combinations of running, swimming, and biking.
That is really cool.
And so I'm guessing now my friend Tyler, who we saw last month, I don't know if he's here tonight. He and I were together yesterday, and he says, "Hey, you shouldn't speculate," but my speculation is I got to do it. I think this is going to be announced officially.
This is a big month for announcements.
Yeah. So, and if you notice, the new merit badge pamphlets are out. Let's see if I can get it to focus.
Yeah, Scouting America
on the bottom.
Yeah, it's got the new
And
brand.
being a collector, I've picked up about a dozen that they've now added the Scouting America logo to the bottom.
Yeah. They did it throughout their website.
Yes.
They did a full wipe through it, and the website it's hard to find Boy Scouts of America on there. It's
Right.
all Scouting America.
Right.
So,
Yep.
And I'll kind of lead into what Mike's gonna share here. I watch social media carefully, but not religiously, and I saw some talking about a wildland fire management or something merit badge that some gentleman that obviously was a part of it said, this is a pilot program and such. I kind of gave it as this is a regional project by somebody, because back in 2012, the Scoutmaster Bucky program did an invasive species merit badge pilot program that was not accepted by national, even though we had the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in with it. So I kind of didn't pay much attention to it. And I found that there is some legitimacy to that one, as well as two others. And I'm going to let Mike speak further on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there is
Neat.
I believe it was announced by Nashville on social media, maybe on Friday. They are setting up a merit badge test lab where kind of proposed merit badges, they publish the requirements and allow scouts and scouters to test out the merit badges, and no one actually earns a merit badge unless it later becomes a merit badge. But there are 3 merit badges in the test lab. So one of them is the life skills merit badge. And I guess I would just, encourage any viewer to Google on scouting.org merit badge test lab, and it will pull up the page. I will not try to describe the exact link for it. And honestly, it links to a page might change, but life skills, I think it's some very interesting stuff. Also wildland fire management, as you mentioned, Bucky, that's another proposed merit badge. And then and
how appropriate with the recent California fires and stuff. I mean, they couldn't align at a better time.
So true.
Yep. And then there's also auctioneering merit badge. And
auctioneering.
I think that's
a great merit badge. If you ever been to an auctioneering or an auction where the auctioneer didn't know what to do, it's not a good auction.
My mind's going to the top 10 list for auctioneering merit badge, and I'm thinking of that auctioneer song.
Yes.
Already.
Oh my God, that's interesting.
That lines with the mission of merit badges as a part of scouting, is introducing scouts to different activities and parts of life that could become a hobby or a career.
Yeah.
And
or an essential skill, like the life I forget what it was, the
life skills.
Life skills, the knife, fork, spoon, what are they for? How are they placed? Should I put the napkin in my lap before I eat, or the whole etiquette. I think we even touched on that. Bucky has a course on that. So I was talking with a youth that had no clue about checkbooks. They have what's a checkbook? That was the actual reply. So
Doug from Duluth, who's on tonight, he and I were at Perkins yesterday talking about that very thing. What are some of those things that kids don't, or youth don't know today? I mean, everybody knows they don't teach cursive writing in most schools nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of private schools are starting.
Right. But there's other things that, like doing laundry.
Yeah.
I mean, as silly as it sounds, separating whites and darks, and cold versus hot water, and
how to iron a shirt.
Yes.
You go to an interview with a wrinkled shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah. How to tie a tie, how to clean your shoes, matching your shoes and your belt. Like
different
things like that. Oh, here, I got one.
just that simple stuff. We're talking making the bed, take the trash out. What is recyclable? That is so basic life skills. And I think scouting, we teach a lot of stuff that they don't teach in schools. So that's a natural.
I got one for you guys. So when we had that snowstorm come through here in Northern Virginia a couple of weeks ago, I live at the bottom of the hill, and there are a couple of people who got their car stuck at the bottom of the hill, and just telling them, hey, you need to put your car in low. And they're like, my car doesn't do that. I'm like, you do. That's what the L is at the bottom of your. And like, another guy I'm like, hey, you need to turn your traction control off. He's like, my car doesn't do that. I'm like, yes, it does. It's like,
right.
It's this right there. And then in the same day, I had to get windshield wiper fluid, and I walked into Target because AutoZone was out, and I set it up on the thing, and the young man behind the register said, oh, what is this? And I said, it's windshield wiper fluid. And he goes, oh, what's that for? And I thought he was joking, but he was so serious. And he was probably early 20s. And I was like, I'm like, it's the stuff that sprays on your window when you like want to clean them. He's like, oh, that stuff. Okay. I was like, I'm confused. I thought I was going to insult his intelligence by saying that,
He really didn't know.
Yeah, he really didn't know.
Yeah. Well, how about even the arrow in the gas gauge?
Yeah.
Pointing
Showing
to which side your gas
of the car.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, my wife's in her 30s, and she didn't know what that meant either. So, like, we can't.
Well, and giving a plug to Jeff Dunham. He's got an opening in one of his shows where he talks about his daughter and his wife filling the gas with his teenage daughter for the first time. And it's actually kind of funny how, he describes how she didn't know where to put the thing and such. But those are the things. Sewing on a button.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the requirements for life skills, but there's so much that could be put into that. And I'm hoping that my understanding is the test lab is that scouts can sign up and go through the process with any registered leader. This is how I'm reading it right now. And they get a completion of a certificate of completion for it. And if it turns into a merit badge, they would then automatically be credited with earning that. But they do have to fill out a survey to give feedback on their experience so they can improve on that. I'm just hoping that they will take insight from others for making improvements. So if they don't have sewing a button or filling what windshield wash is, those would be good things to add. I'm hoping they will. Hey, maybe they'll see our podcast and ask us for input, right?
So true. They could
feedback is a gift,
Yeah. Right.
It's a gift, all right.
Yeah.
Comes with a big bow.
Right.
And say, Bucky, on that multi-sport merit badge where you were able to buy the merit badge pamphlet from the, I assume, Scout Shop.
Online,
it doesn't seem to currently be on Scout Shop. So I'm thinking it will go back up on Scout Shop once it's officially announced.
So on the 8th, probably the 8th of February.
Yeah, that's my guess. Is it's a little perplexing with all the changes to Guide to Advancement that came out earlier in the year and the new merit badge requirements that they might not have included it there. But this is kind of a unique upcoming celebration with the name change in our 115th year. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm correct or if my buddy Tyler was right that I shouldn't have said anything.
Well, if you could buy
the river fly,
if for a short period of time you could buy the booklet on the Scout Shop, you probably found something.
Yeah, well, I'm checking that right now to see if I still can order more.
I have a scout that actually earned every merit badge. And this would drive him absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
He got to
keep moving the goalpost.
Yep.
Well, this multi-sport does not look like it's going to be one for just any scout, kind of like scuba.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to do some work, and
Well, you got to be a diver. That's the first requirement.
right.
The guy that wrote the book and lives in Orlando. I know him. So
Yeah.
he's a diver, him and his son, and they it's amazing how that merit badge came around. And the scuba diving was needed. It was a needed merit badge because there's so many youth. I mean, you can get certified for that first requirement starting, I think the earliest they do is 10.
Okay.
So you can actually start diving at 10. I might be wrong on that, but I'm not a diver myself, so I don't know.
Okay. So I'd like to just acknowledge a few more viewers. The Spaceman says, "Hey, Senior Patrol Leader from Troop 38." Okay.
Spaceman.
Ping King 554 talking about their Scouting for Food drive. They go to 5,000 houses. Wow, that's amazing.
That's a lot of work.
Amazing to hear some of the things that are done in scouting. Okay.
A lot of people will eat well for a month there. Yeah.
Well, the food banks, they've really started to rely on that nationally. All the local food banks throughout America. And there's always been a need. There always will be a need. So it's definitely get that bag and put some cans in there. It's okay. It goes to a worthy cause.
Yeah.
So someone asked what merit badge would relate to joke telling. Ken said the laugh saving merit badge. Not to be confused with life saving. Okay.
Yeah.
He's still beating that horse. That's
Absolutely.
He told me that he asked me where do polar bears keep all their money, and he said in a snowbank.
Oh, okay. Those are just so bad.
They're so
He's got
great.
some good ones.
Yeah.
But to answer your question from earlier, you can start the introductory program Bubble Maker, or it says SEAL Team, starting at age 8, and then you can do the Junior Open Water Diving certification at age 10.
Nice.
See, that's where I got it. The 10. Yeah. That's the certification one. Yeah. It's and I'm not a diver, so I don't know. So, and a lot of this information, by the way, should be caveated with this is all up to national. They could change their mind.
Right.
They could change the requirements. They can do whatever they do on their end. We're all volunteers, so we're not stating policy. Okay. So don't hold us to this, but this is what we heard on the grapevine.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if
it's around the campfire,
if Bucky was able to order and receive the merit badge pamphlet,
if he's able to get a pamphlet,
it's coming.
Much committed.
It's happening.
Okay.
Yep.
The Spaceman says, I have a question. Does Sea Scouts have something similar to Order of the Arrow?
Yes, it's called Order the Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
You got me on that one.
Hey, great minds think alike.
There are a lot of Sea Scouts in Order of the Arrow. In my lodge, we have quite a few. So I mean, they do have it. They don't have. See, this is the thing. Order of the Arrow is the honor society of scouting. Okay, once you get into that, they do a lot of training for the youth to become better leaders. So your ship is going to improve. If you're in Sea Scouts, that definitely wants you in the Order of the Arrow because of all the leadership training and opportunities that are there. You have to be a member of a troop, a crew, or a ship to be in the OA. The only exception to that is district. You can be a district member. That's where I'm at. I'm on the district team, and that allows you to stay involved with it. So you do have to be registered in scouting somewhere. So,
hey, Stan, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have any sponsors tonight or any new members? Because I don't know if my chat's not working, but usually we see somebody register as a new member or make a donation. I think
I'm not really seeing any. I think.
No. I don't see any on the list here. So
Yeah.
I think we've had quite a few. We've had 47 comments, but
okay. Well, I know you're hoping to improve the quality of the program with a new camera, and you rely on the donations for that. And so I'll just make the shameless plug. I have no problem doing that. Help support ScouterStan here. He's trying to get a new camera to make his face even prettier than it already is.
No,
for your viewing
enjoyment. I need a camera that makes me look better.
And
do they make that?
I would say, hey, if you're viewing and haven't already given it the thumbs up, please give it the thumbs up. That tells YouTube that there's a lot of interest in this program, and YouTube will recommend it to more people. So that's
hashtag bring the trio to 2026 Jamboree and put them on the main stage. Or
hey man, that's the goal,
Yeah,
that
wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
The three of us sitting up on stage, taking questions from 20,000 scouts and scouters.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be fun, as long as they don't have a bunch of rotten tomatoes in the audience.
Would we have to learn like a dance or something and take choreography lessons or something for entertainment purposes?
I mean, we should go full, Savannah Bananas in there and just have the whole thing choreographed. Like, just make it entertaining.
Yeah. Well, we have to get an invite first and such.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Well, so Ken has commented that wood badge is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yes. I agree. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going through wood badge is life-changing. In the wood badge that I went through, there were I think about 4 weddings actually came out of that one. Where single guys were meeting these girls they'd never seen before, and they had the same goal of learning all about scouting.
Yeah.
And they had a lot in common. And they started dating, and I've been to 4 weddings from from the one I went to. I was already married when I went, so
good thing.
But it's one of those things. It is you get with like-minded people, boys and it's men and girls. They get that same alike of what they want and their goals in life and so on, and it just makes it happen. So it is life-changing in many ways.
I went in 2010, and what I find amazing is looking at my class. Half of the scouters that went, and there were 48 or 56. I think we had one of the large groups. Half of them aren't in scouting anymore. Yeah. But those that are, I mean, one is our council advancement chair. One is, they're in all sorts of positions, both unit on up to the council. And it's really cool having those relationships and friendships that you make through going through wood badge. And I think that's the key thing. And I'm envious of whoever it was that went through the national one. Just meeting people from around the country is an even bigger experience. But me
and
personally,
doing it at Philmont, the training center, phenomenal. So
but I love training days because you get to meet fellow scouters, share stories, and learn from them. You know, kind of like we're doing here with our chatting and
the campfire.
The campfire, right, where all the work gets done. Right?
Absolutely.
Seeing if you don't attend, you get voluntold.
Yeah, right.
It's like I'll put it in there that if everybody that's in the chat, if you're wondering about whether or not you should go to wood badge, I would say you absolutely should go, simply because like even if you've taken a lot of leadership courses like I have over the last 18 years, you still learn a lot, and you get a lot of people from different walks of life go in there, and they really start to cement some of the theories and things that you thought you knew, and then they come out of left or right field with something that just resonates. And you're like, you know what, that makes sense. I understand this better now. So I plug this a lot, coming from a leadership role in my normal job, that you still can learn a lot from it. So 100% go to it if you can.
Well
I
said.
agree.
Well said. And a lot of people that leave scouting, they're following the life cycle of their youth that's involved. So in leadership. So once the youth leave, they usually leave. But they take those skills that they learned in Wood Badge, how to listen, how to communicate, those kinds of things. Those are such critical skills. They use them in their professional life. They don't necessarily have to be in a scout troop or crew or whatever. That's one of those wonderful things. They can take those life lessons from Wood Badge that are fine-tuned for leadership, and they can use them. So
I think the biggest mistake people make going into Wood Badge is going in with expectations. And those that go in with expectations, and Matt, I think you said it great, that you've done other professional leadership training and stuff. The ones that go in thinking, well, I've already done this before and stuff, I think they're the ones that get the least out of it.
Right.
So if you can clear your mind of expectations and just go in and be a wet clump of clay and let the program do what it's built to do, it is an awesome experience. And the friends and connections that you'll make, which is a part of the program, not really spelled out to work that way, but it just does, is great. Because if you're a Cub Master and you're stuck, it's great to be able to have somebody that you can go, what do you do? To have bounce other ideas off, to ask those questions. Hey, Sea Scouts is wanting to come in and promote. How did you handle that? And so having those local people to chat with outside of district roundtables and stuff, going beyond your borders, is tremendously valuable. So not just the
Wood Badge does that. They can be from all over the country. They can just decide we want to do it at that particular camps. You get a lot of
and even if your council is not doing a Wood Badge, look at your surrounding areas. What is the website? It's like Go Scout Events or scoutevents.com or something like that. Because when I was in Las Vegas, they weren't having a Wood Badge for another 18 or 18 months to 2 years by the time I was I'm ready to go, and I wanted to go. So I ended up going back to my council that I got my Eagle Scout in. And I asked them, hey, do you have a Wood Badge coming up? They're like, oh, yeah, these things never fill up. So I signed up, and 2 days later, that course got filled up because it was the first one after COVID.
Well, that's because you were going, Matt.
Perfect.
So don't be afraid to reach out and go to other councils and stuff. Yeah, you'll get there's some networking opportunities if you're in council, but for me, it's that wasn't really an option with having to move every so often. So you get to meet people from all over and just have a great time with it.
Well, and they run differently. Some run 2 weekends. Some will run during the summer, for instance, or 4th of July. I think there's some council that does a 5-day long one.
There is an option for that, but most of them are split into two.
Into 2 weekends.
Doing the classroom training kind of thing, and then the practical.
Right.
So that's kind of the window. A lot of councils are just too small. They don't have the facilities. They don't have the scouters there with the experience that are needed to put together a Wood Badge. Wood Badge takes over a year for the staff to be fully trained. It's a big commitment, and that's one of the things. It is huge, gigantic training, and it's the absolute best. And then Baden Powell, who started it all, was the one who really started all that going along with getting scout leaders trained in the early days. And that's where Gilwell came from. Mark, my friend Mark over in England, he has a YouTube channel called Big Man in the Woods. And I'm so envious. He is so close. He lives so close to
Gilwell.
To a Gilwell. I'm about ready to bring my sleeping bag over there.
All right. So after we do National Jamboree in 2026, we'll shoot for a Gilwell.
That'd be great.
Podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be great.
I'll just be there, in total awe, because that, you build up that idea in your head being Gilwell and staff with Wood Badge and all that. It's so steeped in all the things that went on in the past. It's just rich with history, and that would be thrilling to do. So.
Yeah.
Well, can I get to a couple more questions? So
Sure, yeah.
The first question, I think Max asked earlier about should he leave his unit, and he clarifies that the unit's not very active. And, some things that I would say is this is a very important question, very valid question. This is I don't know where else he would ask that question. And I don't know that we can really give him a succinct answer in this format. So some things I would mention is look at some videos on this channel, talk to your unit leaders, talk to your commissioner. I don't know if you have a district executive in your council. I'm familiar with the situation. Our family made a unit change a while ago. That's, just kind of, it was a better fit. And, there's a lot of good videos on YouTube about the commissioner kinds of things. Even as an SPL, you can listen to some of the commissioner training videos on YouTube. They will help you gain insight.
Yes.
Well, easiest thing to do is change units, but I'm gonna stick with my recommendation and say I challenge you to find a way to make it work.
Oh, make your changes in your unit, the one you're in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, fix the problems. You're in a position to influence that and seek guidance and help from those that can help you achieve that goal.
Exactly.
If they're not that active or not interested in scouting that much anymore, that may be your perception. It's just a conversation that needs to take place because scout leaders get burned out too, and sometimes forget that you've done this for 10 years, you're repeating the same thing, and it's not relevant anymore.
Exactly.
So
I think it's always better to be part of improving it than leave. Yeah.
Right. But I find that a lot of times when you're dealing with an issue like this, it has to do with the schedule. Is it the same schedule that's been done over and over again, and that's why there's no interest in it? Is it a schedule that somebody else, like an adult, that did it to them? You will go to this camp, you will do these camp outs, and they don't want to go. They've done them over and over again. It could be just repetitiveness in scheduling. The best thing they can do as a senior patrol leader is use your resources. There's a lot out there, and definitely start diving into some videos, start diving into your scoutmaster, make sure they're on board with some changes, and try to bring everybody along with you to be a more exciting unit. And believe me, if you come up with a schedule where you've got hiking on this date and you got camping on that date and you're going to go canoeing on that date, you put a bunch of stuff in there that everybody wants to do. You'll have to have a waiting list because you're going to have so many people joining, and it's going to really blossom. The schedule is the key for planning out what you want to do, and it needs to be done by the youth. I know the adults want to be involved, but the youth need to do it. Okay, they need to set those goals. If they want to go skiing in the mountains, yes, that's going to be expensive, especially if your troop is in Orlando. Okay, it's going to be very expensive, but there's fundraising, right?
Wait, did you say skiing?
Yes.
You could have done that last week in Florida.
No. My point is, make it exciting. Have fun with it. It's your troop. You're the senior patrol leader. So just get in there and just dig in. Don't just run off. Okay. Now, if it's insurmountable, don't quit, but move to another unit. But let's try with what we got. Like Scoutmaster Bucky said, it is very important that you work with what you have, work with your availability of all the mentors you have, the coaches you have in your own unit that can help you turn this around. There might be some structural problems we don't know about. So there's a lot that you're more familiar with than we are. So that's what you have. And you're hearing it as an opinion. Okay, so take it as
Right.
definitely try to think about why. Do pros and cons. Try to figure out the pros and cons. What's good about the truth? What's bad about the truth? You know, that's what you need to do. Pros and cons could be something like a pro could be we have enough tents for everybody. Great. You don't have to do any fundraising to make, you know, more accommodations for tents. Yeah, a detriment could be there's no clear guidance on advancement. That could be a perspective that the youth have. You know,
I like that idea.
Write that down.
Yeah.
I like that. Do a pros and cons of the unit with this, like do a informal Scoutmaster conference or call it an SPL conference with your Scoutmaster and Scout leaders and go, hey, can we make a list of the pros and cons of this unit?
Right.
I bet it would be
From
very
the leader's standpoint,
Yeah.
it'll be a different list than it will be from the youth standpoint. The youth will have a different point of view.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that would be I like that idea.
Yeah. That's a suggestion.
We are a
That's
collective
the
genius,
campfire.
I think.
Yeah.
It's the campfire fumes that
Yes.
cause these great thoughts, I guess.
That's right. Yes, we're like those
All
old
right.
prophets that lived in the caves with the sulfur, and you know,
Yes. Vision.
we're having visions with the fumes.
Oh, that's
Okay.
funny.
All right. So here's a good question. David asks, basically another listener, what is your troops' policy on signing off scout requirements?
I'm going to
And
jump
then-
in on
and
that
then-
real quickly.
And then he asks, are there any restrictions on signing off for family members?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think
so
this is an advertisement for the Guide to Advancement.
It
isn't
is. The
Yeah.
Guide to Advancement absolutely spells all of those questions out. And I think while I've read it, I don't know that I could properly quote it. The
You
answer
got
I
to do
think
it
we
by
should
the
give
numbers now.
is Guide to Advancement.
Yeah.
And it's not just in one section. The
Right.
Guide to Advancement is an entire encompassing. So you do have to look at the entire thing. I had somebody I was
And
talking
it covers the three big branches: Cub Scouts, troops, crews,
Yes.
and Sea Ship.
Yes, but merit
Oh.
badge. Somebody was arguing with me that, well, in the merit badge section, it doesn't say this, but it's not. All the rules for merit badges are not just encompassed within the merit badge section of the Guide to Advancement.
Right.
There's other sections about like online stuff. Even though they have online merit badges now as a new section,
Yes, it does. Yeah.
there's how online stuff should take place. They talk about family members signing off, who can sign off on rank requirements. So my answer would be read the Guide to Advancement and then come back with more direct questions for clarification.
And a lot of times, if from the youth standpoint, is this a youth or is this an adult?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That if it's a youth, they have no clue that this document exists.
Correct.
It's sad, but they should be given a copy of that with their handbook.
Right.
Many
That-
adults have no clue that there's
Exactly.
a Guide to Advancement either.
And a lot of them say, well, I'm going to go to the committee and we're going to make a rule. No, that's it's already been done for you. So that's the thing about the Guide to Advancement. The same thing's true with Guide to Safe Scouting.
Yes,
Those two
absolutely.
documents are policy. Okay. The committee can make whatever changes they want to do with themselves. That's fine. But it can't be for the scouts because it's in those books. And that's the policy.
And Stan, I think those are real important documents that every scout and scouter should read and parent. Because unfortunately, while we want to always talk about the good in our program, we have people that are in leadership positions of units that put their own interpretation on that is not properly correct and can be challenged by those documents. But also, the biggest challenge I see with units is the ones that have been around and they've just passed knowledge down, and that's the way it's always been. Is the comment,
and that becomes not necessarily policy; it just becomes a myth,
right?
That just keeps perpetuating itself.
Don't
go by that. Go by what's actually. That's the whole purpose of those guides.
Correct.
Is to write down literally the first section 1 of the guide. is all about what it means to say, show your counselor.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
what does it mean to demonstrate this thing? You know,
Right.
it literally lays it out so that there isn't any confusion. And
You know, I think it's a subject that's too long to get into for this
so true.
one, but
we do have a video scheduled for season 12 that will be talking about the critical guides that you need as a scout leader. And I'll give you a hint since you're here. It's the Guide to Advancement and the Guide to Safe Scouting.
Yeah.
Those two are so critical. You got to have them. You got to have them. Get a PDF and put it on your phone. Okay. So that you're at the meeting and somebody says, let's go paintballing. Well, Guide to Safe Scouting says no.
Right. Yeah. Dodgeball is in the Guide to No, or
exactly. You know,
we call it the Guide to No Fun, but that's the informal name. You know, but dodgeball. We used to play dodgeball at our Weeblos overnight with these Nerf type balls, and somebody called us out on it, and we don't do it anymore because it's in the Guide to Safe Scouting.
Exactly. So there's things in there that you know, the myth is one thing, but the truth is another, and that's where these guides come in. You have to follow the procedure. It's just a way of having safe scouting. It's just a way to advance, and advancement is a big thing in scouting. It's one of the big goals in scouting, is to give youth that opportunity to advance. And if you've got all these myths running around, it's going to muddy it up. So definitely get the truth, get it from the guide.
Go straight to the source.
And don't listen to me.
And honestly, what I found, if everyone is referring back to the Guide to Advancement, it is fair, it is clear, it is straightforward, and by simply following that, it eliminates a lot of frustration. If someone's
total rewrite.
If someone's making it up on the fly, that leads to frustration for everyone. It's intended to be straightforward and, you know, really well. I think we could have a whole show about the Guide to Advancement.
That'll be our next campfire. How's that?
All right.
Sounds like a great idea.
We'll burn through that subject.
Great. Okay. The Spaceman, cool fact about his troop. They have been in existence for over 100 years. Sadly, their history up to the 1940s went missing during World War II.
Yeah,
congratulations.
That's amazing. 100 years. They have a troop here in Orlando that had a big celebration last year, their 100th. And so there are troops out there that have been chartered, multiple different charters, but still the same troop for 100 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
And someone is asking, is the chat function working in Patreon, Stan?
Patreon? No, I don't believe so. The thing is with Patreon, there was some issue that came up at the beginning of this month, yesterday. And I had some things I was going to upload and with Patreon, and I wasn't able to. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm confused about Patreon. Patreon was my first funding efforts for when I started the channel, and they're still there. They're still supporting the things we do, and I'm trying to get back to some of the chat that's on there for the videos that are posted. They do get the videos usually the day before, and I believe all members of the channel and the Patreon get them early, so before they go out to the general public. So, and that I'll have to go back in tonight and figure that one out. So I'll see what's going on. There was issues where I couldn't upload things. I couldn't post things on it. So I don't know if it's something on their end. Patreon is hosted in the burning area in California. That's where their servers are. Their servers are in that fire. So I'm worried that things happen there. So I don't know if that's all of Patreon, because they have different ones, but I think mine is actually in that area. So I don't know if that was it, or maybe they had to take it offline to put it. So I don't know. I have to figure that one out. So
All
the
right.
answer is I don't know. So many hours from now, I will. So
All right. Brandon is going to Wood Badge in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Brandon, you're going to Wood Badge? That's awesome. That's awesome. But Wood Badge is life changing.
All right. Aaron comments that staff at summer camp can also sign off. I believe that's
And there's some rewrite in the Guide to Advancement on that for summer
Yep.
camp staff and merit badges,
Yeah.
which we're talking about next month. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All
We're gonna
right.
really focus
yeah.
on that. That would be good. I'd love to have all of you there. That would be wonderful.
I'll work it into my schedule.
Yeah.
I'll plan
Maybe
to
we
be
can do a
here.
top 10 list about advancement. Is there songs about that?
Oh, I'm sure
know
we
what?
can come up with some.
I will- yeah.
I think I can.
We'll make sure we have a top 10 song list for advancement. Right? The ants go marching one by one or two by
Oh, there
two.
you
Or...
go.
If you
Yeah.
don't work in the Jeffersons Moving On Up theme song, I'm not coming.
Oh, I love that. There we go. Yeah, we'll get that one in there, right?
That one. Moving on up. That was
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and you know what? Maybe in addition to camping songs in the comments for those on tonight or watching
Yeah.
later on,
Oh,
maybe
it
we
does
can get
go
some
for-
suggestions for the advancement. We'll just call it advancement's top 10 song list. And
Yeah.
so we'll take
That'll be
those into consideration and we'll watch that over the next month and see what kind of songs, and we'll put together a top 10 list then.
That would be neat.
Yeah,
That
that'd
would
be
be
fun.
neat. That would be fun.
Yeah.
No.
And
Maybe we can get Stan to sing one of the songs.
No.
Oh yeah.
Not me. Singing days are over.
I think we have some
I'm
good
a lot.
cases of. I think Stan has encouraged members of the channel that if someone asks a question and you're familiar with the member, they're encouraged to answer questions back and forth on the chat, and that's encouraged, and that's great.
Mhm.
And a lot of them, I've noticed that. That's awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you
Yeah.
for, if you're going through and you say, ooh, he didn't see this yet. So definitely go ahead and
Yeah.
throw in some information. That it could be just something simple. Now, I believe everybody here has the ability to put links. That is shut off for everybody else. So if you need to
Yep.
put in a link, let one of us know and we'll get it on there. So
Mhm.
Okay.
if it's to the merit badge book or the guide to safe scouting, you'll see that on there.
Yeah.
So they can definitely put that on there. But for obvious reasons, everybody here has been vetted, so they have the good in them, and that way the channel doesn't suffer in any way. So we had to shut it off for everybody else.
Yeah. I
let's
see one that somebody asked, have you watched the NOAC 2015 National Vice Chief speech? Oh, look at that. You're all over it, Mike.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I did because I was there. I was on in the cast for NOAC 2015 at Michigan State and got to meet a lot of people, and
right
I got to sing in front of 17,000 people a cappella.
in front of me. I was
Yeah.
there.
Were you there? Yeah. Well,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh, I saw them over here.
Yeah.
I've
So
got
the red
my,
sash.
I did the video the other day about when to wear your OA sash.
Yeah.
And I grabbed my bag of sashes. I actually have a bag full. And in there,
You
there
got
it
the, yeah.
Look at that.
that's my
2015.
2015. Yeah, 2015. That's my red sash from the OA event there.
Yeah. Celebrating the 100th anniversary of
Yeah.
OA. And only that sash, and I think we talked about this in the last one, could only be worn at the
During that
event.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from opening to closing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
for collectors, it's a limited they probably
that's
only
real limited.
Yeah. And
This bag does have one that I brought to the 2013 NOAC,
yeah.
and I brought it to the 2015, and I just left it in my pocket. But this is actually one that's very special to me. This is my father's.
Oh, very cool.
Right.
Oh wow.
So that was one of the things he gave me before he passed away. He gave me his old sash.
Nice.
And,
Oh, wow.
his Indian name is Oo,
Ooh. Yeah.
which means owl.
Okay. Okay.
That's cool.
Well, I heard they were doing away with vigil.
They are. I
They
heard.
are, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their policy has been changing on that. It's, Indian names, they really, they kind of hurt the feelings of a lot of American natives because
Mhm.
that's something that's part of their faith. So
Right.
Mhm.
we can't really remain reverent by taking that out of their faith, taking that away from them. So
Yeah.
that's, and I understand. I can't even pronounce mine. So
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's like
Yeah,
super long.
yeah, it's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
In the OA, some of the times they ask you to stand up and introduce yourself with your Indian name, and we'd always mix it up. And I was always getting in trouble.
No.
So,
so
something totally different.
Yeah.
Almost
I
like
know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that it's funny you talk about the 2015 like NOAC because I'm gonna be a little nerd here for a second, but the promotional video that they have for that NOAC, the 2015 one, is like one of my favorite like scouting YouTube videos where they talk about the young man holding the vigil honor, and then the guy at the end talks about like you have to bring in the next, like we've held the vigil fire for the first 100 years. Now it's your job to bring in the second century.
Yeah.
Like that right there was like, I was like, that's some great like motivational stuff right there. Like I thought that was really amazing. If you guys haven't seen that like before, go check that out because it's one of my favorite scouting videos that's out there on YouTube.
Matt,
Cool.
that's such a testament to what I can validate. Being on OA stage, it was such an amazing group of people, and we're not talking about just hobbyists that showed up. The people that put on those productions. I mean, we worked for 16 hours each day getting ready for the nightly shows and such. It was
It was a
grind.
big production.
Yeah.
Huge.
And I struggled a little bit with the fact that the youth that were there were basically what's the word I'm looking for? They were kept
Be nice.
No. I'm quarantined. That's the word I'm looking for. They were quarantined basically in the studio area and the practice area, whether they had a part or not for those days. And I'm like, shouldn't they be able to get out and enjoy NOAC? But it was such a rewarding experience to see the professionals that came that work with big names in the entertainment industry, the camera workers, the script writers, the sound people, the producers, the directors, and all the volunteers that came. It is really, I know I hate singling it out, and it is a bit biased, but they were quite an elite group. The costume designers, they were fabulous, and they kept it was an amazing experience being back there.
Yeah.
And they work hard, and we're not dealing with just hobbyists. They are professionals that work with big names. And they brought that to our scouting community, and they do a little bit, I understand, with National Jamboree as well. But having been directly involved, it's a fabulous thing. And I recommend, if you go to NOAC, meet somebody that works on the shows, thank them for their hard work, and enjoy the shows. They put a lot of work into it.
And this is the one thing you don't know. Every night,
yes,
there's a show.
Yes.
Every night of NOAC. It is. It's Broadway kind of stuff. I mean, it's fireworks inside, and it's just.
Yep. We had to be there a week ahead of time because we started rehearsals and such a week ahead of time, and the big closing show was a lot of work because we had over 200 people in that.
Yeah.
and-
One of the big secrets that's on this channel is actually, I believe it's 2015. It might be, but I was the associate advisor for our lodge that I was out there, and this is up in Michigan. And it was, so the series is still on this channel.
Nice.
So I think it's, if you look for it, it's in there. But the series is still there from 2015. So
Yeah. Hey, maybe if National Jamboree won't take us, maybe NOAC will.
yeah. I think so, man.
Or both. We're gonna shoot for both.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Let's go.
We're gonna dream big here,
All right.
We need our audience to go out there and start telling everybody to know we want these guys there.
So does our contract include singing and dancing?
Yes, you get double.
Okay. All right.
I think it's standard. I'm a triple threat,
All right.
You get double. It's like that big paycheck we get for all the scouting we do.
All right.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have volunteers, I tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think we have run the.
Let me run through a few more shout
Oh,
outs.
please do. Please.
Brandon Troop 30B from Crestview, Florida. Chartered in 1922, still going strong. Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see, just kind of flip through some more here. Brandon said they're going to another camp, and it was okay. I was a scoutmaster wanting to keep her from running for another position other than troop guide. Okay, I guess that was probably from a previous discussion that
between a
kind
couple.
of hard to respond to
Yeah.
in the middle of a conversation. So
That's okay.
Yeah.
So this is a great one. Steve says, thank you for making these videos. It really helps me shake off the cobwebs after not being involved in scouting for 23 years between Eagle Scout and becoming a Cub Scout leader. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we need more Cub Scout leaders.
Yeah.
we really
You
do.
know?
Yeah, we really
do.
do.
So
I'm trying my best over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cub Scouts. It's that's where we develop all the character that is in Cub Scouting. And without the character, you don't have a good leader. You need that character. You got to build it. And believe me, there's a lot of opportunities in Cub Scouts to build that character. We were talking about campfire marshmallows.
Yeah.
There's some character.
So, Mike, I'm going to help you out because I think this would be a great thing to kind of wrap up our evening with.
Yeah.
As we are kind of getting there.
We're
There's
going
the
along.
most recent comment here. It says, great format and thanks. There we go. See, Mike, you're on top of it.
Mike's on it, man.
Yeah.
Money Mike.
He's reading my mind.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
Well, go ahead. Go ahead, Bucky.
yeah. So talk about Scout Sunday. We just did Scout Sunday today
Yes.
with our unit. And
Mhm.
there's nothing that says you have to do it at any particular time.
Mhm.
I think as we sell it, because my unit is sponsored at a Catholic church,
Mhm.
and we do have non-Catholics that are a part of our church. And the first thing I say is we are not going to ask you to come so we can convert you or anything like that. This is to show thanks to the chartering organization for providing the resources that they provide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's also a great opportunity to focus on two things. One, remind the scouters and families that reverence is a part of our program. And we talked about that last month as well.
Mhm.
And again, I'll reiterate what I think is that without reverence, you don't have the other 11 points of the Scout Law. And it is one of the,
apart without it.
and it is scouting is still one of the few programs that promotes reverence as a part of its complete package.
Yeah.
So going there, what is it? 70%, 75% of units are sponsored by a church. So it's really easy Scout Sunday to do that. But if your unit can't get together, I tell our Lutheran, our members, wear your uniform to your service. You're still representing scouting and making awareness of it, that it's still out there. And I guarantee you there'll be somebody in the congregation that comes up and goes, "Oh, I was a scout once." You'll hear stories and you can be a voice of what scouting is today.
Right.
If you're sponsored by an American Legion or a VFW, my recommendation is go have breakfast at their place.
Go serve it.
Yeah. Usually they have like a little restaurant or something.
Yeah.
People think that American Legions, VFWs are only available to members, but they have changed in the past, and it's kind of open to the public. So go and do a breakfast. And then the religious emblems, it's a great time to bring up the religious emblems as a part of the program. And it's a tricky, you have to be careful, because what don't we talk about? Religion, politics, and money, right?
Sounds like a scout meeting.
Yeah, it does, right? Sounds like a campfire meeting. We haven't talked about those yet. But I think it's a great opportunity to broach that subject with families, and you're still within a safe reasoning for bringing that topic up. And there's nothing more rewarding. One of the things that I think is really rewarding is when you can introduce a family to a reverence that may not have had some, and to watch them find a faith or find a path to start following. And sometimes that's all that's needed. But we have to be careful not to become evangelizers.
Yeah, that's true.
On just our faith, because as scouters, we're welcoming of all faiths.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so true. Our district has everything from mosques to synagogues to churches, chapels, everything.
Yeah.
So, and all of them have that. And it's incredibly important to never forget that scouting is a religious based thing because of our oath.
Yeah.
We have in there God and country.
Correct.
Okay? That's always been, and there'll always be there.
Yep.
So God is part of the whole package, and it's based on those morals. You're going to do, on your honor, you're going to do your best to God and your country. I mean, that is enshrined in the values of scouting. So
there you go.
And then that's at the beginning of the oath, and at the end of the law, you got reverend. So everything in between.
The
full package, and that's the beauty of the scout values. And the one video that I think that National put out, it had John Wayne in it. It was awesome about faith, and it was. I whenever we would do a day camp or something like that, we had a moment where we could put that video up, and it was just awesome. I think there's lists that I've put together of off-channel videos. So if you go through some of the playlists on the channel, there's one in there for leaders to kind of focus them towards those videos that they could show at a meeting, and that's one of them. So look into that. It is cool. It has the actual voice of Baden Powell is in the video, and it's amazing.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's very good one.
It makes the point, and you really gravitate to it, and they see all those scouts in that video. It's just special.
Well,
and
I
wanted to give a shout out real quick to my district, because they did scouting Sunday yesterday, and they do this. I'm fairly certain it's annually, and they call it the 10 Commandments hike. And it's not necessarily specifically like a Christian hike or along those lines, because I wasn't able to attend because I flew in late because of all the unfortunate incidents that occurred out at Reagan Airport this week. But my pack was able to go through, and they get to see not just like the Christian like churches and stuff. They also got to see some mosque, and they got to go and see a synagogue where one of the I call them like the historic families of scouting here in my area, because the grandfather had shaken Baden Powell's hand before, and he's still up and walking. So they were reading from the Torah and everything. So they get to expose the kids to a bunch of different religions and let them really talk about reverence and how that looks different depending upon where you're from. Because this is one of the first places that I've lived in where my kids have got to get holidays off for Yom Kippur, for Eid, the different things like that. So I've had to explain to them some of the Islamic holidays and some of the Jewish holidays that I've helped celebrate with friends and stuff. So it's very interesting to see a district do that, and I would recommend districts do that, so that way there is this spreading of knowledge about the different religions and what one believes over the other, and what are the similarities too, because you could see the kids, at least from the pictures and what the parents told me, you could see when they're like, oh, that's what we celebrate too. And oh, you fast, we also fast, we call this Lent versus in Ramadan. So the great plug for them, and I recommend that districts do that because I think it's really, really cool.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. So many districts all over the country do so many great things like this. They have those Scout Sundays. And February is a big month. Our founding date is on the 8th. They have, I think it's the birthday of Baden Powell. I think that's, trying to remember, the 20th, I think. I don't know. I have to look that one up. But Baden Powell was born in February. So there's a lot going on there.
And it's 9 months from my birthday.
The what?
It's 9 months until my birthday. So February is pretty special.
Yeah, the 22nd of February, which is also the anniversary of scouting. So yeah, 22nd of February.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm a Minnesota Twins fan, and Bert Blyleven, who used to announce for us, he'd always announce, it's so many days until my birthday, and I thought that was always hilarious.
Okay.
Well, my birthday is July 4th, so everybody remembers that.
Oh, there we go. Well,
wow.
All right.
Holiday is the date. So
you're a true American.
Yeah.
Can't
Can't
forget
get more
that.
American than that, can you?
Well, I think our fire needs another log, or we need to go to bed.
Well, we should let the embers.
That way, the most fires.
I think we. It's approaching 10 p.m. in Minnesota and probably 11 p.m. on the East Coast. I'd be good with wrapping this sometime soon.
So next month, we're going to talk about Guide to Advancement and advancement, but we need the viewers' help. And if they can send questions to ScouterStan or sign on early, because we open the chat early.
Yep.
And we were in our pre-production meeting. We look at those questions that come in before we start the live show and discuss those. So if you want to wait until then, sign on early, type in your question, and we'll see if we can't get that right off the bat.
Right. Well, the notification usually comes out Friday, Friday evening, before the Sunday monthly meeting. Our campfire, so the link won't be there until it's posted. So there's like 2 or 3 days. But once you've hit the button, remind me. That's a YouTube thing. Once you hit that button, the chat will be fixed in there, so they can start putting your questions in.
Yeah, put them in ahead of time so we can get those answered. And I challenge everybody that's live here or watching it in recording, bring a friend.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was just going to plug that.
The word.
What's our biggest live numbers?
And of course, if you haven't, the Roving Scouter, has fantastic video. They had one recently about blue and gold.
Oh,
awesome. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I tell you, those are good videos. So definitely subscribe to his channel. Okay, if you're watching this, got to subscribe to this guy's channel over here. Okay, subscribe to his channel. Well, and then there's Bucky down there.
I'm still working on getting a regular
we need
channel.
to get you
you got
a website.
I got a
I got
website.
YouTube.
Yeah.
You can put these on there. I don't mind.
Yeah. I'll see. I am going to be adding both your sites to the site, so people can go to scoutmasterbucky.com and get direct links to your YouTube channels.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I expect some sort of residual. No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah. Hey,
like I said,
100%.
I'll add a 0 to your bill.
Yeah.
I'm 100% serious about growing this network and spreading knowledge and all that.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys don't know, go on Facebook, Instagram, all that, and check out All About Scouts.
Yeah.
Like the moderator on there, she does a great job of trying to keep things going throughout the day. I'm not associated with her or anything like that. So she does a great job and puts out a bunch of different information, not just for Scouts BSA and Scouting America, but also Girl Scouts as well. So you'll have memes about Girl Scout cookies over here, and then wood badge and critter battles over here, and like it's a great site. So I recommend going on there to help that network grow, because they've also do throw out a bunch of good information and good questions that people ask. So you might find some great information there.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to next month already.
Great suggestion. I think we got
Excellent.
going here. Well, I do have a new outro or exit, but I wanted to wish everyone a very good month. Celebrate, get out there and spread the word about scouting. It's something that is near and dear to all of our hearts, and we need to keep this alive. And we change our name every now and then. That's okay. We've done it in the past, but core values still remain the same. Scout law and the Scout oath, that's everything. That's your core. And as long as that's there, scouting will remain. And it's something that I really believe in. And I know you do too. So
thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you on the trail.